This is the reading for May the 10th, 2020. It's the Gospel reading from John's Gospel, chapter 14, and I'm beginning at the 14th verse. Let not your hearts be troubled. Trust in God still. Trust also in me. In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I should have told you. I am going now to prepare a place for you, so that where I am, you may be also. You know the way to the place where I am going. Thomas said, Lord, we do not know where you are going, so how can we know the way? Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. When Jesus says these words, I am, ego eime, in the Greek that the New Testament was written in, or in Hebrew, it is Yahweh. I am, the sacred name of God. He's reminding us that he's not just a human being who lived for 33 years, 2,000 years ago. He is in very nature God, the incarnate Word, we say in the Christian faith. The Word made flesh. And you know how John's Gospel opens. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning, and through him all things were made. So Jesus was always part of God, right from the beginning. The universe was made through him. He was part of that. He's always been on this planet, always will be, part of God, everywhere, reaching out to people. Anyone who is seeking after God truly, anyone with an open heart can connect with Jesus. And then Jesus, who is part of God, came for 33 years to live a human life, so that that way was embodied, so that we can actually see what it is to live the way God intends, the way that Jesus lived. And the touchstone for that way is love. Because in the first letter of John, chapter 4, we hear God is love. And those who live in love live in God. And God lives in them. Anyone, anywhere in the world, regardless of their faith or belief, if they are living in love, then they're connected to God, because God is love. God is in all love and all people who are loving everywhere. So when we hear people talking about a God of hatred, a God of anger, a God of bitterness, a God of vengeance, this isn't the God who Jesus calls Father. This isn't the God who is essentially love. This isn't the God in all Jesus' teaching, the God in the parable of the prodigal son, who is totally, completely love. No. And we hear people speak like that, probably in every religion in the world. Certainly within the church, within Christianity, we can hear it. And that means that there are people within the Christian faith who think they are following Jesus Christ, but actually their way and their God is not the one Jesus calls Father. the God of love, of mercy, of compassion and forgiveness. The only true God. And it's also true that those of other faiths or belief, if they are living in love, then they are connected to God. Even though they claim, no allegiance to Jesus Christ. Isn't this what the parable of the sheep and the goats means in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 25? That he will say to those who thought they were following him, I never knew you. Because I was hungry and thirsty, you gave me nothing to drink, nothing to eat. I was sick in prison, you didn't visit me. I was naked, you didn't clothe me. In that you showed no compassion. You were not living my way. And I don't know you. But for those who claim no allegiance to Jesus Christ, he says, I was thirsty, I was hungry. You fed me, you gave me drink, you gave me clothing, you came, you visited me. Inherit the kingdom, O you beloved of my Father. And they say, but we were never following you. We just did these things to other people. In that you did them for anyone, Jesus said. You did them for me. You were my followers without knowing it, because you were living the way of mercy and compassion, the way of love. I am the way, Jesus says, the true way, the only way to God, the way of love, the way of life. And no one can come to God, my Father, the God of love, except through the way of love.